Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Printing's Alive. I'm your host, Warren Werbitt, but you knew that already. Today we have a really good episode coming up. First of all, we have Mark Stephenson of Fuji, formerly only until the end of April. Is that okay to say?
That's okay to say, yeah. I'm here until the 31st of March.
Actually, before we start even, I will just say this because I always say it. I think Fuji is awesome. When I had my company for 27 years, I was with Fuji. It started off with Al Gonshore, who was McCutcheon Graphics before Fuji took him. And he brought me in, and I was there for 27 years. I ended with Jerry Leclerc. I never changed for $1 a plate for a consumable for nothing. The whole way through, probably my only supplier that I ever had that didn't change.
Now nobody's going to believe I'm not paying you.
No, you're not, because Fuji doesn't pay anybody, unfortunately, the Japanese way. No, well, you know what I'm saying, but they will take you out for dinner. In any case, love the company, but today's episode is going to be something that, I don't know, I always talk about, but here we go. So for years, and I mean years, I've said something that makes people uncomfortable. OEMs are not your partners. They say they are. They use the word. It's in the brochures. It's in the PowerPoint. It's in every sales meeting. We're your partner. But I've always believed, and I've lived this from the print owner side, that OEMs are business first. Public ones answer to shareholders, private ones answer to ownership, and at the end of the day, they're there to sell machines, they're there to sell clicks, they're there to sell consumables and protect their ecosystem. Now, before anyone gets defensive, this is not a bash session. I'm not out to kill anybody. It's a conversation. This is business, because printers are also in business. They have margins to protect. I hope they have margins to protect. We negotiate. I wish we negotiated better. We make decisions based on survival and growth. We could debate that one after as well, you know, but, and so then why would OEMs be any different? But here's where it gets interesting. Is there a difference between publicly traded OEMs and privately held ones? I think so. Does quarterly earnings pressure change behavior? Absolutely. And we all have experiences. Is the word partnership real, or is it just very good positioning? There's that word again, positioning. Well, today's guest is Mark, and he's going to help us understand a little more or try to poke holes in whatever I think. But either way, it's going to be a real, honest conversation, one that I really haven't heard anyone talk about, and I think it's really important. So welcome to the roast, Mark.
Thank you very much. I'll try and give as good as I get.
Yeah, it could only be. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's listen, I think for starters, it's like a love-hate relationship, right?
It doesn't need to be. I think you're over confrontational, Warren. Who would have thought that of you? But you say it can't be. It's not a partnership, but it can be.
Okay,
and
so
it very often is.
Let's talk about the word partnership. From the ownership perspective. Partnership generally relates to my partners in my business and my shareholder, agreements that we have and what we're working for the same common goal. Would that be a fair definition of partnership?
Working towards a common goal, certainly. With
my partners, my shareholders.
You can't expect it to be the same relationship as you have with partners in your own company when you're dealing with another company. But you can have a different kind of partnership where you both win, instead of it being a who's going to win this negotiation. If somebody loses in a negotiation, it's a bad negotiation.
Agreed, but the truth is, when I talk to other printers, more often than not, the printer has less room and is held to what goes on with the partnership. And a partnership, to me, is where both parties are working together to make it better, not worse.
Absolutely.
I have, in my experience, OEMs, particularly big publicly traded ones, that make decisions on whims, or it seems like whims, no notification, no notice, and then the contract and everything changes. So what happens then?
Well, you've got a poor relationship with your supplier in that case. And there are, in every organization, I'm going to go out on a limb here, in every organization, there's somebody who wants the best for both parties. It might not be everybody. You might have a sales rep, for example, who is poorly educated, poorly motivated. If that's the case, swap. Find another one. They might be from the same, even from the same company. But if you're not satisfied with the person you're talking to, go higher. Find the person. Find a recommendation from your network, and you've got a network, Warren. Find a recommendation from your network of somebody in that organization who will listen and who will make a difference. Because every organization's got them, and they might be working within constraints that you don't like. It doesn't mean you can't get a good deal out of it.
Oh, that was a big word you just used for an OEM, constraints. So,
Yeah.
okay, you say go around. Well, I've been with companies where I've asked, and you just can't switch like that. And I want to start off first by saying, why do I have a rep that's uneducated, incapable, and unable to do what he has to?
There's a mixture of capability in the channel, and you have to pick the right ones. And that's where partnership comes in. You find somebody you trust, find somebody who other people trust before you jump in. It's so easy to jump into a contract because the headline looks good without doing your homework. I mean, that's where you come in, Warren. You offer that as a service almost to help people choose the right supplier and equipment and make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, in looking within companies, I've come across where you're battling the layers within the companies, because I find in a lot of places, everybody's protecting their position and what they do. And then no one even responds until they get a response from a response. So I feel the OEM sometimes are like the banks. Who makes a decision at the OEM? Is it the salesperson? Is it the district manager, the regional manager, the country manager, or head office?
Yeah, but how do you think some print buyers feel when they're dealing with a print service provider? Are they getting a great service and a great partnership as well? Everybody's got to play in the game.
Okay, so here, I would hope so, and you're probably right, but I hate to tell you, this is my show and we're talking about the OEMs. We're not talking about the printers.
But you've got to measure yourself with the same rule.
No, okay, so listen, I know, but this is the difference, okay? From just to put it all on the table, we as printers are the ones investing the dollars. We are the ones that are going to the bank. We are the ones that are on the hook for every decision we make, period. I'd like to think that we make them with our partners, which are right. And this is my problem where I come into the partnership, because it's not always the right thing. And the company you're dealing with is not always making the best decision because they've got quota. And you know what? I'm not going to call any names, but I'm going to think of the top 3, top 4 public OEMs and, you know, the rattle that goes down.
Yeah. Carry on.
So, I think it's a problem, and we are putting our money on the line. Everyone we deal with, our partners, have no skin in the game. You're a public company. It's nobody's money. Nobody gives a shit, to be honest with you.
I don't agree.
Huh?
I think some people come out of signing a deal with a customer and feel good about helping that customer move their business forward. It sounds corny. I know you don't believe it. No. But actually, some people are motivated like that. And the reason why you might end up with a bad partnership or a bad relationship is if you are not open and share what you're trying to achieve and your numbers with that person. It's where trust comes in. But if you want that person to give you the right advice, because when a sales guy walks in the door with a customer, he's thinking, what can I sell this person? I've got 16 different things in my bag that could be configured 23 different ways. And they can get it wrong if the print service provider don't provide enough or the right information. And for lack of that, very often a deal will fail, or the installation or the ongoing relationship will fail.
What about when the printer's providing all the right information and he's getting back from the person he thinks he trusts the right information and it's not? Because I've seen too many salespeople want to up it. It's almost like going in and buying a car, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a perfect example is and again, I won't mention any names. And now that there's 3 people making the machine, you really don't know who I'm talking about. But no, really, I speak to someone who calls me up. Actually, very funny. OEM calls me up, says, "Hey, can you help us with a customer?" I say, "Sure." Get them on the phone. So happens they bought one of these 6-color contraptions, and they never had a machine before that put out a sheet. And on the call, I say to the salesperson, "What were you thinking selling this person a 6-color device?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, the customer said, "Go big or go home." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Well, guess what? 12 months later, the machine's sitting there, nothing's happening. They don't know what to do. That was a bad move on a salesperson's call.
Yeah, I can't answer for every salesperson, but a good salesperson will think about what they're selling, and they will think, will this bring value to my customer? Or because all they'll do to themselves is lose themselves future business, and they'll get themselves a bad reputation.
Well, fortunately in talking to you, you are right up there under the realms of the perfect salesperson because you run your business properly. No, you run it. You're concerned. You ask the right questions. There's plenty of others out there that do not.
I'm not a salesperson, by the way.
What?
I'm not a salesperson. Well, we're all salespeople in one way or another, aren't we? Yeah.
Right?
Okay. But I don't have quota.
Point, though, you know, when you say partnership, when things go south, the OEMs are running. They're not always there to help you.
The thing is, because I've made contacts within the industry and not been on a quota. And I mean, I do agree. Quotas mess with your head. Yeah, they cause some people to take decisions that perhaps are questionable. Yeah, not all the time, not everybody, but it can affect you. That I found myself considering things and thinking, hang on a minute, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to make quota this quarter because I have been a salesperson. And
hang on, I'm sorry. So then you are in direct conflict with your CEO.
I'm in conflict with myself because
the CEO says, "I don't give a rat's ass. You go make that sale. We need the number."
Why now every CEO is evil, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Honest to God, every CEO, listen, and anyone I've had to ask this to offline, because everyone wants to protect themselves, every CEO of a public company is interested in only one thing: shareholder value, earnings, and his golden parachute. Period. Now, they can pretend while they're in the position, but that's what it is. It's public companies. And everybody in a public company said the same thing to me. Public is public, and they only have one thing: shareholder value. Private ownership is different. They play differently.
I've not operated at that level within a company, so I couldn't tell you. Okay. But what I know is not everyone can be as close to the customer as the salesperson or the technical advisor that's in that company. They have to. Those people are managing that relationship, and the sales managers and the country heads or whatever may be a step away from that. And so, yes, they will be hoping everyone makes their quota. But a good salesperson will stand their ground and only sell what's right. And, you obviously had some bad experiences, but I think you can sometimes end up getting almost stonewalled if you're too confrontational with a salesperson and you just totally dismiss the idea of partnership, because partnership can work, and I've seen it work. And you've got to be open to that.
Listen, first of all, when I was in my job, not after the fact, like doing what I'm doing now, I was all about building relationships and good communication, good connections. I didn't build partnerships because they're not my partners. They're not there for the losses. They're only there for the wins. And when you're negotiating, and then 5 days before the year end or the month end or whatever, they go, "Here's 25 grand. Get me that sheet out by midnight." That's bullshit. Why didn't you give me the 25 grand before? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the few good people, a few good men. Remember that movie? But I'm not talking about a few good men like yourself, like me, who want to do it right. We're talking about the industry as a whole and the way it operates. I don't want to call out names, but I've dealt with all the manufacturers on the buying side. I've got all my customers, so I see what happens. I see even pricing. Does anybody ever negotiate the same thing twice? Is there any consistency with what goes on? No.
No, because people negotiate, and people have to adapt their offer depending on the needs of the customer. So you always get different situations depending on future revenue and projections, all kinds of things that might make a difference.
Knowing that we all talk, there should be a little more consistency, right?
But then you've got a problem with
what?
price fixing, haven't you? You don't want...
Because the gas companies on every corner that are the same don't do it. It's not about price fixing, and you don't have to do that. But the company could have a policy of this is where we go, so that there is some consistency. Listen, I guess you guys are going to see it the way you see it. And we're going to see it, but we're the ones paying.
No, I know we're arguing, Warren, but we agree on more things than we disagree on. We both want the print industry to do better. We both want to see all ships rising.
So this is the problem with our industry. What you said is 100% right, and we have some amazing, awesome, wicked print owners out there doing wild things that are great, and we have some really good print manufacturers that are also okay. Right? But it's the majority that we talk about that no one talks about that cause all the grief. And it's how do we make that better and worthwhile?
And we need to do it from a standpoint of positive optimism, not telling people that you're all rubbish. I don't trust any of you. You're all bad. I'm not talking about OEMs here. I'm talking about the way we talk about the industry. We're rubbish at marketing. Nobody does it right. We could do it better. We're not the best, but we could be.
You're talking to the converted. I hate all of that, and I want to just slap some people around, right? Printers included, because at the end of the day, it is us who killed our own industry in the world. We commoditized it. We didn't market it. We do it for everybody else. We know what we can control, yet we let it go. We had a great opportunity in COVID to get our pricing back up to where it was, and it didn't take long before everybody started sliding again and offering free printing. Right? At a time when everything is going up and getting more expensive.
But we need to talk about what can be done and what should be done, not about, I'm sorry, I'm confronting you again.
No, this is totally cool. I wish more
not
people
talking down the industry, talking it up.
I agree, and I keep doing that. Listen, what does my T-shirt say?
I can't read it now because you're on a tiny little screen. I shrunk down. Oh yeah, print is your love language.
It says print's my love language.
Don't give the answer you gave me when I asked that earlier.
I can't. We're on recording. But I came out with 40 slogans on T-shirts to promote print. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I've reached out to all kinds of people. A few people have bought a bunch of T-shirts, and others have blown me off. For a lousy $30, buy a T-shirt and give it to your employees and let them get excited. Right? Like, I'm not buy anybody's T-shirt. I don't care. But
if you do,
wearing it.
You do care. You want people to buy your T-shirt. I don't blame you.
Well, no, I do. But I'm just saying. At the end of the day, the truth is, and probably why I'm not making millions of dollars is, I want what's best for the industry. I want to talk it up, and most people don't. Yeah. They run for the hills. Yeah. Right? And I've dealt with a lot of manufacturers over time, and I've had some where I've had nothing but greatness, where I felt that there was a benefit win on both sides. Yeah. And I'll be honest, when I get into the digital world, it gets a little messy, because it seems like every manufacturer is trying to slime over the other one. And yes, you're looking and you're going, we're all good, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. The pricing and the colors and the bullshit, embellishments are great only if you can sell them.
But doesn't that make it easier to find the good ones?
I just want more of the better on both sides doing it right. It's not about looking. It's you know what? There's a lot of people on the print side that aren't capable of looking to know. So that's where we want to look to the OEMs for the right information. Yeah.
But we will always, we'll always be biased towards our own solutions. Yeah. If we offer a training course on how to sell more print, don't you know that half the content will be, and if you had this kind of press, you could do it better? that is the nature of the beast.
It's wrong.
No, it's not. It's not. You will promote your product. Otherwise, you're not selling, are you?
What?
You're not selling. If you go to a customer who wants to buy some print and say, yeah, you should have some gold embossing on this, and the other printer down the road does that, so I'll see you, bye. You wouldn't do that. You will promote what you can do. You'll say, I can get gold embossing done for you, for example.
Well, I'm not going to say I don't do it. I'm going to say I'll get it for you, because you got to be an idiot to say no when you have trade suppliers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but that's just stupid selling, right? But I want to know why they want to know gold. I want to work with them to see if the gold's going to be good.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a value, because if there's no value, they're not going to order it again or anything from me.
True.
Right? Like, I'm the guy that wants to be out there. I like to think of my customers as if I own their businesses. And I'm going in there not to make decisions that I wouldn't make if it wasn't my money.
Mm.
I would like for the OEMs to somewhat think a little bit of the same and be concerned about the future and not locking somebody into something that they can't get out of. I took a bunch of OEM contracts and ran them through my good friend AI. And you know what it came back and told me? Don't sign any of them. You don't have one little bit of wiggle room. They are not responsible for anything. They are not responsible for any downtime. If they have any lack of parts, can't get them or anything. That's not partnership. That's dictatorship. Right? No wiggle room, nothing.
Yeah. Then
What do you say about that?
So that's where the negotiation comes in, isn't it? Where you can reach an agreement that works for both of you.
But why can't we have some standard stuff? Because not every printer is able to, capable, knows how, is smart enough, has had the opportunity to know what's available. So what are you telling me? The OEM then goes in and takes advantage of them?
I mean, I could be harsh and say one of the lines that you came out with a long time ago, which was, if you don't understand it, you're too stupid to run a company.
Oh,
and you said that yourself.
But that doesn't mean the OEM should take advantage of that idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. No, there is some discernment needed. I will agree. We're agreeing, Warren. It's okay.
That's good, though. And we're not even at the pub. I would just like to find a way to bring the sides together. So let me ask you a question. Public OEMs, private OEMs, difference? Negotiation, talking, relationship, forget partnership.
Yeah. I've not really had the experience of that. I can't answer for them.
Okay, that's a nice politically.
Well, I don't. I've worked for one. I've worked for one corporate company for 27 years. I've not worked for any other manufacturer. So yeah, I couldn't
And you
tell you.
worked for the right one.
Well, I worked for one of them, and there are lots of good ones out there. I've got to say that now, because I'm gonna be independent in a month's time.
Well, I want to be nice to Fuji. I'd like them to bring me down to Japan and have me speak to the crowd. But anyways, leaving that aside, right? Yeah, no. How do we get everybody? So actually, I'll just go back to private. Private OEMs are like private business. They make their own deals. They could push whatever envelope they want. You could be dealing with the owner who can make decisions on the spot and not go back and do and whatnot. And then if you have a problem, you could actually pick up the phone and get someone at a higher level. Yeah.
But then, when you're talking about a supplier, you want that supplier to be strong. You want that supplier to be there. You want their infrastructure to be sound so that you can get the service you need. And you won't get that unless there's give and take on both sides. Look at the companies who came into the market, promised the earth, never made any money, and disappeared again.
Let's look at the companies that are promising the earth, the world, the moon, and everything, and not making a whole lot of money and still pushing bullshit that are still here. Right?
There's always a mixture.
Those are the big ones. Right? I just like when I deal with private one where they have skin in the game and they actually care. Like the CEO of HP who just left, he couldn't give a shit about who has what. Right? Nor could he ever. He just wanted the numbers from all the divisions so that he can get his bonus. That's how it works. I know you don't have to agree.
Yeah. I don't know the guy. All I know is in every organization I've worked with, I've always found somebody who cares and can help to get things done for customers. I mean, we've done, we've done solution building with a variety of vendors all coming together, yeah, and getting a solution into a customer. And you have to find out who the key people are and work with them. And it's not easy. You can't just walk up and demand things. You have to say.
I'm going to cut you off. The majority of our industry, unfortunately, is a lot of like medium, smaller companies. They're not gifted, crafted in being able to find all of those little people, places, how to get things done.
This is my point. This is my point. This is when you go to a supplier who's going to supply, I don't know, the press part of it. You need workflow, you need finishing, you need web to print, you need whatever you need. Yeah. If you go to someone who can supply the whole solution, whether it's internally or whether they use partners or not, you've got one person responsible, then he's your champion or she is your champion to get that solution in there and make sure everything works and coordinates the project. But you've got to find that trusted person. You've got to be open and go into and I'm going to say the word partnership again. It's not the same kind of partnership you're talking about, but you've got to share what your goals and aims are and what your figures are so you can get all of that going.
I will accept that. Right? Then there's the printer. Okay, you win one. One for Mark. Then there's the printer, the small medium guy who's limited on his finances, he's limited on his human resources, he's limited on his technical abilities.
Yep.
How does he find that right person? The majority cannot. That's a fact. The majority cannot find the right people. So now I'm turning to the OEM and saying, who's the right person here to work? And they don't have a lot of that. That's the problem. That's where the printer starts to feel getting rolled over and stuck.
Then we need to improve the quality of the people that represent us.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We need to improve the quality of the people that we have to represent us.
Right.
As OEMs, and I've got no beef with saying, we need to put more resource into training and education and not only, head knowledge, but also in the heart of what they're driving and the culture of that organization needs to be right.
I got nothing else to say because you said exactly what has to be done, right? I mean, we are the buyers, so we have to be looked at as the customer. And I always say sometimes to the salespeople selling equipment, like, you're suggesting that to me. I said, but what happens when you go to buy a car and the guy suggests it to you like that? Oh, that's ridiculous. I go, interesting. You don't live how you work. You don't have that common ground. My insight is I think the same everywhere I am, and I do the same. So why can't you treat people the way you want to be treated or do what you expect? And I don't think we have a lot of that, right?
We can always do with more.
So, and I think I've had a salesperson come in when I bought a piece of equipment once, and I said to him, listen, I know a lot of people. I don't want to do the negotiation thing back and forth with you. I want you to come in with your best foot forward. And what's going to happen is this. You're going to tell me I'm going to trust you. Afterwards, if I'm talking to my friends and I hear that, oh my God, their price and my price is the same, we're good. If I'm paying a lot more, you're done, never coming back. They never came back. So why can't people be a little honest?
I can't answer for everyone. We both know what it should be.
You fifth. You're in the UK. You probably take the fifth. I think it works there too.
I don't think we've got them. We haven't got a Bill of Rights. We haven't even got a constitution in the UK. Did you know that?
You don't even
we haven't got a written constitution.
You don't have a constitution.
You're in the same hierarchy that we are in Canada.
Oh, we're fucked.
You're a colony.
I don't even know if we're a colony. I'm thinking more like a village with nobody in charge. Anyways, back to print. Yes. So I think what I'm feeling is you do the right thing. You think the way I wish everybody else would think, but I wish that the OEMs would pick it up a little and understand, who they're dealing with. And I'm speaking as a champion for the little guy, because little guys should not be having 6-color presses when they never sold a color before, or being talked into web to print systems and software and whatnot. until they're ready.
Yeah.
And it happens more often than not. And
Yeah.
that's the part that upsets me.
Yeah, and that's where
printer, man or woman, basically have no chance to get ahead of the 8 ball.
Yeah. And that's where patience comes in. A good salesperson will have the patience to say, okay, let's help this company to use the solution we've got, and then I'll go back next year and we'll talk about, could you use this feature, or could you use this extra feature? But and that's where longevity comes in. If you've been or plan to be with a company for a while, you can afford to do that.
Well, you just better hope your CEO agrees with you, because if you don't make that sale, you're fired. There's conflict everywhere.
There is, and it's you're navigating a path through several
thousands of dollars. It's like going out to buy a home that's not going to be your home. Doesn't work. We don't have money to throw around like that, and every installation costs extra money.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do okay, let me ask you then, for what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with me. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You just agreed with me, so that's good. I got you. But so what could the OEMs do better? Like, really, a few things to make it easier when they're dealing with some customers if they want to sell them. I'm even particularly new ideas, like when everyone started selling the embellishment, the big push, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a high-end guy. I love the flash, I love the bling, and I love all that if you could sell it. But the truth is, most printers, and I don't care what anyone tells me, it ain't for them.
No.
Right?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I get where you're coming from.
I'm trying to get you to say you're right, but but I'm serious.
There's two sides to a coin, aren't there? One is, you don't sell embellishments, then I won't listen. This is the situation. You could say to a customer, if you don't sell embellishments, then I'll sell you something that hasn't got any embellishments on it. The other side of it is, if you don't sell embellishments, you really ought to start, because it could be the key to some profitability you're missing out on. So,
okay, I agree, considering I bought the first Xerox that came out with the big tray and the triple extra colors and all that other shit, and couldn't sell one sheet for a nickel more. But forget that. Shouldn't the salesperson know, looking at the customer, who realistically has the potential to be successful with it?
Yes, and you've fallen into my trap, because that means the customer needs to be open and honest and share what they're doing and where they're trying to go, and not just say, give me your best price or you're out the door. It needs to be a two-way flow of conversation. Otherwise, the sales guy can't make that choice, make that judgment call.
Well, the salesman's there. It's a 6-person operation. They see what they're doing. Their revenue's $1.6 million. You could make some decisions with them. You could help them. You could show them. You could give them the layup, the way you can move into it. You don't go sell them a full machine and full-blown everything.
Depends what their customer's going. They might say, next year I want to be twice as big. You don't know.
Fuji soon, because this isn't working very well. No, but
I'm just trying to get the blinkers off.
No, I get it.
More lively.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying about potential opportunity. I think, but it's more on the OEM side to recognize who has the potential to push and not push the unpotential.
Yes.
And there's a lot of unpotential people being pushed.
Yeah,
that's my worry. Not the ones that should do it, that could do it, and the ones that could do it, do more of it. Buy another machine. But there's too many that can't, that are getting, sucked into the vacuum, and then they panic.
Yeah.
Right? OEMs are not there to help you with marketing, and some shouldn't even pretend or say.
Yeah. And that's where the responsibility of the OEMs comes in that we don't have a lot of salespeople out there drinking their own Kool-Aid, if you want to put it that way, where you get the impression that everybody needs gold, silver, and a varnish, because that's what we've got, and it's our competitive advantage over anybody else. And a good salesperson won't go down that route, because they'll make that judgment call. But we're going around in circles now, Warren.
No, but then you have the OEM who didn't train their salespeople well enough to put them on the street.
That's what I said.
I know. So it's all the OEM's fault. this. We're back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The OEM's fault. Listen, fluorescent pink. See how that comes about? Fluorescent pink. Okay, honestly.
Okay, Warren. Do you want to say you've won this argument? Because I don't mind.
It's not a win. It's not a win. It's who's going to walk away learning something or maybe making a change to help somebody else on either side better. How's that?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want this industry to just expand, to grow, to be highly profitable. I think the end users should be bowing to us because without us, they're not selling any of their products or making any money.
Yeah.
But that's not how it happens. We should take ownership of it all. We should be in for a percentage of the sales of companies that we help grow their products.
Yeah, wouldn't that change things?
and the OEMs could do the same for us. Take a share of the profits if you could help us get there.
I've seen deals like that. They've never worked out, but I've seen deals like that.
Right? No, I listen. I love this industry. I think it's one of the best industries in the world. I think the world cannot live without us. Right?
No, absolutely can't.
No drugs, no condoms, no food, no alcohol, all the important stuff. No cannabis packaging, right? It's 2026.
All the essentials of life.
Right. And it's great, but I'm really I've always had a problem. With the OEM, even I had a sales guy. He's working in one company and working with him for a bunch of years, and it's the best equipment. And he switches companies, and he calls me up, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you got to look at this. This is the best." I said, "How did that happen overnight? What do you want me to do with what you just sold me 8 months ago?"
Yeah.
"Oh, we can help you get rid of it." Like, fuck you. Help you get rid of it. Get out of here. That's another problem, right? Everybody's up.
Don't hold back, Warren. I've got the feeling you're holding back somehow.
It's one episode we're doing this. Why should I hold back? But if I'm going to have a partner, I want a guy who's there and concerned about my loss.
Absolutely.
Not when things get tough, they look the other way, don't return your phone call.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed. Yep.
So, wow, I think I got more agrees than less agrees. What a good show.
Yeah, we both did.
I didn't say that. You did. But I'll give you some of the reward for it. No, but if you're an OEM, like, would you agree with me? They have to have a little more empathy for the guy who's spending the money.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. And I don't feel they do.
Right.
And that's what bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the word. Listen, I was doing I had to do a speak somewhere, and I was going to do how to leverage your vendor relations, and they wanted me to change it to partnership. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Not you.
Wow.
No, I get that.
Don't ask me to do anything. No, but I was like, no, that imagine that. The OEM is asking me to change my presentation heading to say how to leverage your relationship with your partner as opposed to with your vendor.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's not a partnership then, is it? Yeah. No, I get that. And
I so badly want to say who it is, but I won't.
Don't.
No.
You don't want a lawsuit.
Honestly, I'm not out to bash. I love most of the people, but
just not all of them.
I gotta help the smaller printers speak up because they don't know where to speak or who to speak to.
I do get it.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's all I want. Anyway, so enough with that because I'm right, you're wrong, and it's that simple. The OEM from this, they should listen.
Yeah. Okay.
There is no right and wrong. It's learning to do better for everybody.
Absolutely. We've both got to come out with it.
I matured.
Yeah. God, what's gone wrong with you? You need a cup of coffee, I think.
I don't drink coffee. Could you imagine bouncing off the walls? So let's go back and talk about your 27 years in this wonderful industry. What's your highlights?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to avoid nostalgia. I was reading an article.
Answer the question. I'm not letting up.
No, let me tell you. I was reading an article on LinkedIn from a guy complaining that older people don't get enough opportunities when they're applying for jobs, and they don't. They need to apply for more jobs on average than a young person does. And I think a lot of it is because older people, myself included, have a tendency to get nostalgic and live in the past and say nothing's as good as it used to be. And I think that's a trap. I don't want to fall into that trap.
I'm
But
not asking you about any comparison. I'm just asking what sticks out in your life.
yeah, and from what I've done at Fujifilm, what I've appreciated is the ability to move around different roles and responsibilities, and to have a go at something, fail, and then have a go at something else and make a decent fist of it. So I was the sales manager for the south of the UK, and my first year was stellar. It was really good. We sold loads, and the guy in the north fell flat on his face and hardly sold anything, and I was the hero. And the following year, it was me that fell on his face, and our team didn't do very well. And it got into the third year, and one of the managers in the company put his arm around me at Drupa. We were walking down the Rhine, put his arm around me, and he said, "They're not happy with you, Mark." So, I thought, yeah, I know. He was drunk, so I was just stopping him falling in the river. But he was absolutely right. They weren't happy with me. And so I pitched another idea. I went to my boss and said, look, I'm rubbish at this. I could do that instead. And he agreed. They gave me the chance. And, I started on a new path. And having that ability within a company is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think people stay in companies as long as you have anymore.
I don't know. There's still a few around, but I'm wary of people who swap every 18 months to a different company.
Oh no, that's something else. No, but I just mean today, people starting aren't doing like,
yeah, maybe not. Maybe that, maybe the culture of the company needs to improve in that you can give people that flexibility. And a lot of the larger companies. Two of my daughters work or have worked for PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, massive. And the way they develop people and give them opportunities to be developed is way beyond what we're doing in the print industry.
We don't do anything in the print industry.
There you go.
Nothing.
We could do more.
What do I hear now? As everybody's getting older, thank God for AI for estimating, because you can't find estimators anymore. Yeah. Why people buying more digital? Because you can't find offset operators to run presses anymore. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. Yeah. We need to do more. We need to promote. We need to change. Yeah. So there's another problem I see. As the industry ages a little, we have a level of people who maybe should be exiting to help change things coming up. Yeah. And, they're not. And exactly. People are hanging on.
This is where I feel, I've had a great opportunity in the past 5 years. I've had the opportunity to get involved in all kinds of projects, presenting, writing scripts, making video, hosting different things. But there are people younger than me, more and just as capable, who I now feel, because I'm moving on from Fujifilm, there's an opportunity there for those guys to get into that kind of thing. And it needs that, because if we're going to bring young people into print, they don't want to see either grey-haired blokes like me or bald-haired fellas like you. Yeah? They want to see people that look like them.
Like this.
Yeah?
We need to...
We're male, pale and stale.
I think that's Paul's line, no?
But, but what also gives the opportunity for me now, from April, to possibly branch out and do some of the kind of work I've been doing, but for the industry as a whole, not just for Fujifilm. Maybe I'll hire myself out to the highest bidder to present and host and video, that sort of thing.
I'll give you a quarter.
Give me a quarter.
Getting a quarter.
Right. Okay. You're the highest bidder so far, Warren.
All right.
Hang in there.
We'll have to go put this public. So you touched on mentoring. How do we get this industry to embrace more? How do we get the elders, the experienced people in the industry to embrace more the younger people and create some more learning, even within companies?
Yeah. Well, we've got in the UK, we've got two I can think of immediately off the top of my head. One is an organisation called Young People in Print, and Elizabeth Bowerman, because you met her at the Crown Pub. Mm-hmm. And Liz is starting that, and she's one of the things she's got into a university that specialises in marketing and creative studies, And she set up a series of lunchtime lectures with people from the industry coming in to tell young people, creative people, what print does and how they can do it. And I did a session with Brendan Perring just last week, Brendan of the IPIA. And the kids there were 200 kids, call them kids, they're sort of late teens, early 20s. But 200 people on their lunch break deciding to come and listen to a couple of fellows talking about print. And their eyes were open. They didn't realize how much print there was around them.
Like, why don't we have videos of white sheets of paper going through these wicked-looking futuristic machines coming out, all shiny and embellished, and then the folding? Like, no one knows how things happen. Yeah. We don't do anything to promote the goodness of creativity, the ways that you produce and you give the shine. I remember we used to have students coming in from the trade school, and you walk them on the big press, and from piece of paper to what comes out the end, they're like, where did those million colors come from? You know, we don't do. How do we make our industry, more glamorous,
more appealing? Exactly.
More appealing. So we got young people. Why are we not making video game like promotional videos? Because everything now is touch, everything is screen. The front of offset presses, your digital presses are push button. No one's getting dirty anymore, right? It's not. It's why do we have some clean videos?
Yeah, we're not necessarily a craft industry. We're a tech industry, and that doesn't come across. So yeah, there's work to do there. Another thing that's happening in the UK is with the printing charity. And printing charity have a couple of things going on. They've got a mentoring scheme going on. So they're looking at young people in organizations and offering them mentors, not only from, possibly from their own organization, but from outside of that as well. And they're open to people volunteering for that in the trade. Also, they do a thing called Rising Stars, which is to fund training for young people. And it's a bit like a Dragon's Den, or you call it Shark Tank, where young people pitch what they want to do with the money to further their careers in print and design. So, things like that. It's a lot easier to do things on a national scale in the UK. I understand that. Because, in North America, do you do it just in Canada? Do you do it just in the USA? Do you do it across both? I don't know. There's no all-encompassing umbrella organization, is there? Except maybe Printing United. Perhaps they should do something.
They should. We should speak to them.
They've got the reach.
I don't have it anymore because I let it go, but I bought the domain name Print Shop Makeover.
Okay.
And I had an idea where, go to a few OEMs and see who you can get involved, and maybe go into a really, really great place and, make a video, make a little series of it, because we are one of the largest industries in the world. And a couple of people I mentioned to, oh yeah, good idea. And then everyone just fuck off. And if you have Restaurant Makeover and you have Undercover Boss, why can't we do something to put the print industry out there?
You want to be the Gordon Ramsay of print.
I didn't say I would do it. I just said somebody.
Yeah,
I would do it.
you probably swear more than Gordon Ramsay does.
No, that's hard. That's hard. No, but how cool would that? Why don't we do something to?
Yeah.
Right. Even when I sit with, back to the OEMs, when I used to go to all these shows, I used to say to them, can't you put some people on stage that are small and have struggled through something and have succeeded? Why are you putting the $50 million, $100 million printer up there to talk about what he did when he's got more money than God and more people than he knows what to do with?
Yeah, no one can relate to them.
So, but it's the OEM's decision to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Who are they appealing to?
They're trying to impress the big boys. Yeah.
No, but then they wonder why I'm not listening in the audience and talking to the guy beside me, because I have no interest. It's not possible. And they, lost me.
Yep.
There's so many things. Do you want to start a committee on what we could do to make this industry better? It's a non-profit, of course.
Yeah, but
no margin.
It's fine talking about it. It's all about doing. That's the important thing.
I want to. I just don't know who's serious enough, who cares enough, and who's willing to put in a little bit of time to get a talk going.
Yeah.
Right? But we'll keep talking about web to print, which, every great system out there, which is going to make you the perfect company, not. So it's, anyways, I don't know. But if you have ideas on how we could pull things together or how we could bring people together on both sides,
Yeah.
and you know, I want to sit around the table where nobody wants to be king.
Yeah.
Because that's another problem in this industry. Everybody
Humans,
wants to be
human ego, human ego. That's the problem.
We got a lot of it here, though.
Yeah.
So, but bury it for the sake of the industry. Like, bury it, because there is no one who's that great about anything, anyways.
Yeah.
Right. We all had a little bit of something good, but listen, I reached out to, you know, I've had one CEO of an OEM who I've messaged, and within a couple hours, I get a reply, which is appreciated. And then I have some where I've been customers and reach out to no reply on 4 email. That's just disgusting. But that's what it is, right?
And, why would they reply to you and not them?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Why would they reply to you and not them?
Why would they reply to me? No, I'm saying I reached out to some 4 times that did not reply to me.
Ah, okay, not the same.
Right?
I got it. Right.
And like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Right. And here I am. And the reason I think like that is real life experience. I did the trek up Ahmed the Blam in Nepal, 15,000 feet. And I don't know if you know a gentleman by the names of Nims Diaz. Nims Diaz is the climber in the movie on Netflix, 14 Peaks, who climbed 14 of the world's 8,000 meter peaks in under 7 months. And at the time, it was a record. And this dude is just unbelievable. And we get to the top of Ahmed the Blam, and I don't know anything about it. I just went on this trek because my friend treks like I fish, and it was something to do and see something I've never seen. And we get to the top, and there's an expedition set up and a sign, you know, it's Nims Diaz Expedition. My friend says to the guide, is that Nims Diaz, the Nims Diaz? Is he here? And the guide says, I don't know. And a few minutes later, who comes walking out of the tent? Nims Diaz. Right. And he comes up to meet us. And I'm flipping out because this is like royalty and 15,000 feet up in nowhere. Yeah. And this is what he says. Hello, gentlemen. I don't have a lot of time. I'm in the middle of the meeting, but you know, you wanted to meet me, and it's my honor, my pleasure to come and meet you. And we had a few minutes, take a few pictures, and then he went back in. Yeah. Well, what makes the CEO that I call think he's so fucking important that he can't meet me when I'm a customer? And that guy who doesn't know me from Adam, will never see me again, felt a matter of honor that someone wanted to meet him. Yeah. I get it. I live according to the guy on the mountain, not the idiot in the suit thinking whatever he's thinking. And that's where my problems come in, because you are the leader of the company. I don't care if you have 2 employees or 10,000. That's the disconnect. Yeah. Right? Anyways, I want to find a way to make this industry better. I don't want to bash. I don't want to call it bashing. I want to call it waking people up. Okay. No? Is that better? Yeah. No, I get that. No, I mean, it's good to have a conversation like this, and maybe there's a bit of hyperbole, but absolutely. You need to sometimes make a statement to make people open their eyes and go, what did he just say? You know. So I'm all for it. I'm not going to hold anything against you that you've said. No, I mean, no. I'm going to not make the joke I was just going to make, because I'm maturing and I've held it back. Oh, it's a landmark. It's going to bother me all day that I didn't make it. But anyways, listen, and you know what? This is the other thing that I don't like in our industry. We aren't listening to the young people. Yeah. And when I say that, I mean, we're not listening to the people that the young people listen to. Yeah. So I'm going to use one person for an example, and maybe you know him and maybe you don't, but Gary Vaynerchuk, who goes by Gary V. You're going to look him up on LinkedIn after LinkedIn. He's got 6 million followers. Right. More importantly, though, you're going to look up him, who he is, what he does, and his following. He's the 20, 30-year-olds and 40s are listening to him. I'm getting a big piece of paper here. Right. You know what he tells everybody? What? Be authentic. Be yourself. Do not apologize to anyone for anything. And if you want to fucking swear because you swear, swear. Do what you do, but do what you got to do. We got to stop trying to put people in boxes and be who they are not, because we see things as that it should be a certain way. But the world today there is nothing the same. Everyone's independent. Everyone's, an individual. Yeah. So if we listen to what the younger people are listening to, we will have a better understanding of what they're coming at us with.
Yes.
And not telling them they're wrong or they don't know what they're talking about.
No, but we've got to also utilize young people in the industry to communicate with them. Because
yes,
if we as the older generation, I'll put you in the same pot as me now. If we try and jump onto Snapchat or TikTok and try to be hip and cool, we'll just look like total idiots.
Don't put me in the same thing because I do that and I'm good. But
okay, all right. I'll ask my kids to check you out.
Tell them to go to my TikTok. I got some good fishing video. No, but you're right in that we need to talk and put them on a pedestal and have them come in. But that's not happening. And I hear that. I had one owner say to me, "Well, how come I can't keep young people?" I said, "Stop talking to them, because you talk to them on the way in and you never go back to them."
Yeah.
So you made them think that they should wait for something because you're bringing them back an idea, an action, or something. And where are you? Best thing I heard this year. There was a lady, the print owner. She bought a bunch of my shirts, right? Like she bought 6 of them actually. And when I woke up that morning, and I saw like on Shopify the cash register go, so you hear a bell. So instead of an alarm clock, I have cash registers. No, it was good. It's exciting. I hope I get a lot more orders and I get sick of hearing it and I turn it off. But right now I'm not. And anyways, she bought 6 shirts, and I look at it and I go, "Oh my god, I'm freaking out." So I called her. I'm calling all my customers, and I'm like, "Kim, I just want to tell you, thank you. Oh my god, you made my day. I'm so excited. I got to call my friend and tell him he's number 2 because you have bought him now." And she's laughing, and I said, I just like, thank you. And she says, "Thank you" to me. I'm like, "What are you thanking me for?" She goes, "I listened to your podcast." I go, "You do? You must be the only one." And then I said, "Just tell me how you came to the shirt. This was the killer. How did you come to the shirts? Because I've just put the store up and I'm trying, but I'm not out there."
Yeah.
She said, and everybody listened to this carefully. There's 6 or 7 people in her shop. Okay, are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go to Printing United, but I sent 2 people from my shop.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Do it.
She sent 2 people out of 7 from the shop because she couldn't go. What a great way to have your people engage within the industry and want to see more and do more.
Yeah.
Because when me and you go, we like to see, but we like beers with our friends at this point.
Yeah.
Right? You can say that. You only got 2 months left of employment. No, but, and then I said to her, okay, I said, "And how did you come across the store?" She goes, "Well, they brought back your card." Right? And I had these little cards. Oh, look at that. I just happen to have one of them right here. And
what a surprise.
I was handing the cards up, but I was throwing them on tables. I was throwing them on the floors. I don't remember giving them to them. And I said to her, "Oh, so marketing works."
Yeah.
She goes, "Marketing works."
Yeah.
So how amazing is that? That a lady with 7 employees sends 2 of them because she can't go. Yeah.
Well, I think I can beat you on that one. I was at Drupa once, and we Fujifilm had a boat. Instead of booking a hotel, we booked a boat to live on for the 2 weeks. And we had, I don't know, 50 odd rooms on this boat. And I met a customer on our stand, and I said, "Oh, where are you staying?" He goes, "Well, I'm on a boat." I said, "Oh, we're on a boat." I said, "What's the name of the boat?" He gave me the name of the boat. I said, "Oh, you're on our boat." And he goes, "No, you're on our boat. We've got 80 rooms on that boat. I bought my entire staff."
Wow.
And he said, "I come out on a Friday. I say to everyone, if you want to go into the show, great. If you want to go down into the Altstadt and drink beer, that's fine as well. It's a weekend and it's on me." And he said, "The serious ones go to the show, and the guillotine operators go to the Altstadt and drink themselves silly." But I thought, well, credit to you for doing that.
I want you to send me that guy's name and number. I want to speak to him. That's amazing.
Oh, gosh, I don't know where he is now. This was a while ago.
All right, if you don't. No, but
I'm not in touch.
Imagine if every print owner would bring one new person that's never been to the show.
Yeah.
Right? Couple things. A, you'd open their eyes.
Mm.
B, you would empower them to feel like there's somebody in your company. You would make them feel like you actually care about them and you're interested in them and you want to help educate them to do better. They're going to go back and tell everyone that everyone at the shop what they saw. Yeah. Most of us go back and don't even talk to anyone after the show. Mm. Yeah. So people don't even get a feel. Yeah. So all that for what? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000?
Yeah.
Small investment. And owners aren't doing that. So
I took somebody along to Hunker Innovations, not last time, the time before that. She just joined the company. And I said, let's go around and visit all the other stands and we'll look at what kind of technologies they've got and how it all fits together. She was joining us as events manager. And we went round. I spoke to loads of people that I knew on different stands. When we got back to the stand, I said, Georgia, how do you feel about what you're seeing? And she goes, can you introduce me to one more grey-haired old bloke, please? That was the thing that stuck in her head. And it's true.
How many industry pictures do you see where there's no women, one woman?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a problem.
Yeah.
And then there's no young people.
Yeah.
So anyways, we should come up with some type of committee, if nothing else, an informal pro-print committee made up of anybody who wants to participate, who cares for the industry. We'll do a 5-question form to get in. We'll be the judges, right? And then we go and we make it happen. We got to have something. There is no forum where people are just talking.
Yeah.
That's the only one I remember was the Crown Pub.
Yeah, that's right. And look where that got us. Actually, we wouldn't have met without it, would we? Yeah, I mean, I've met on the Crown Pub, which for those people who haven't been around that long, because it was a while ago, during lockdown, we just got together online, a load of people in the print industry, and just shot the breeze, really. But without that, I'd never have met you or Joanne or a lot of people all around the world. That's where I started sort of realizing how good these connections can be. So, you go in.
Oh, Wally needed out of the room.
The dog. I thought you were leaving. I thought you were walking out on me. We've been talking for over an hour, Warren. It's too long.
It's too long. No, but you're right. The Crown Pub. There's 10, 15 people that I'm friends with now and speak on regular, and it's great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, and I learn more about what goes on the other side of the pond and how it operates and vice versa. So I think it's the world's coming together. This industry should come together.
Yeah. True.
There's no reason for anyone not to be happy. How's that?
How's that? I'll go with that. That should be our conclusion
today.
Yeah.
There's no reason for anyone not to be happy if the OEMs do it right.
I'm not right.
I'll give the last word.
You can. I'm not going to even respond.
Okay, I'll give you the last word.
It's been a pleasure, Warren. It's all. I mean, you are the ultimate raconteur, and I'm happy to be part of your world for an hour. It's great fun. Thank you.
Don't stop. You're doing good. No, and likewise for me. Likewise for me. If it wasn't for the Crown Pub, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
That's right.
But all of our conversations, all our interactions are always fun, always good, and always learning something. So thank you.
Good. No, thank you.
To everybody else, I hope you made it to the end. If you didn't, well, then you don't hear me now. So
I think we need some serious editing, Warren. Definitely.
By the way, there's no editing because I don't know how, and it just takes up more time.
Oh my goodness.
So it's better. I like authenticity.
Yeah, you got that.
That keeps it straight.
Yeah.
And then there's no second guessing. But everybody listening, we thank you. We're gonna keep listening because we are going to come up with this print co-op to promote print around the world in an informal way. And someone has to do something. Now that we said it, we have to follow through.
Yeah, you started it. Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get to that one. But anyways, in any case, always appreciate you guys, girls, listening. If you have any ideas, thoughts you want to hear, you want to know more, reach out. Otherwise, have a great day. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks, Warren.